Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? See, we got a full house already. Full house. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Let's hey, how you guys doing? Let's get everybody in here. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Let me just fix this camera angle here. How you guys doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. Let's give everybody a few minutes. I know today we're starting a little bit earlier, so we want to give everybody a chance to come on in today, and then we'll get started. Let's give it a few minutes. I see we got a lot of people in here. I know a lot of you guys are eager or were eager for us to go live today, so here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Just trying to get the lighting right. Yes, let's go. How you guys doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. I see a lot of people are hyped right now. So let's give everybody a chance to get in. Some people wonder, why don't we start lives immediately? Why don't you just start talking all of a sudden? You better go in on these haters, bro. Yes, I'm going to do my best. Thank you for that. I'm going to do my best. So some people wonder, why don't you start off talking immediately? Why don't you blah, 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 and all this stuff? Few reasons we don't do that. Number one, time zone difference. Okay, people are coming in from different parts of the world. So people have different time zones. So it may be in the afternoon or it may be the ideal time for you, but for other people, it's not. The second thing is you want to give everybody a chance. As you can see, people are coming in now. So allow people a chance to come in. If you're here, just allow people a chance to come in. We usually start our lives in 4 or 5 minutes. So just allow everyone to have their chance to come in. So that's the reason. So let's give it about 2 more minutes. Welcome in, my bro. I was waiting for you. Yes, I know. I also watched some of these sports shows, some of the main sports shows that you guys watched today. I mean, that you guys watch, the main ones. And I was waiting for them to say something, kind of for them to really go into really what happened in that game yesterday and what's been happening in the series. And I haven't heard anything really yet that made me say, okay, these guys are actually paying attention to this series, given the flip-flopping that people are doing. 2 days ago, everybody was pro Clippers. Oh, the Clippers are going to win. Against the Clippers. Now today, people are like, oh, happy Memorial Day to you guys, by the way. Happy Memorial Day to you guys for the people in the States. Oh, now the Clippers are, they're back and all of this. And I've also heard some pretty yeah, say what's good to Marco, by the way, guys. Marco's also here Marco's here with us. So make sure you guys say what's good to Marco. For the new people that are joining our channel, Marco is the co-founder of Dreamerspro. Everything that you see, apart from me not talking, Marco does all of that. So Marco is the man, and he's in here. So say what's good to Marco. Marco's also here with us, and he's moderating the show. He's a busy man, so he's actually working as we're doing this. So Marco's a busy guy. So let's give it about another minute, and then we'll get started. Let's give it about 1 more minute, and we'll get started, and then we'll get it going. We'll get it going. Let's just give it 1 more minute. Make sure you guys keep checking in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Max was talking about the Clippers. Yes, I heard Max talking about the Clippers, but he wasn't talking about them in terms of, excuse me, I just had my lunch. He wasn't talking about them in terms of what they did. He was talking about them in terms of what the Mavs didn't do, and the Luka Doncic and all of these guys. He wasn't really talking about the Clippers as far as what they did. Excuse me. Nick Wright, a hater. No, Nick Wright. Nick Wright is just I don't know what Nick Wright is. I don't know. I heard what he had to say, and I don't really know what his angle was. He said, I'm going to get to Nick Wright a little bit later in the live, so stick around. Okay, we'll start in 30 seconds, and then we'll get it going. Let's just wait for a few more people, and then we'll get it going. Let's give it 30 more seconds, and we'll start at the 5-minute mark, and then whoever comes in will catch on as we go. Let's try to give as many people a chance to come in here. He is LeBron Stan. DP better than this. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate that. I don't know. I just think we just pay attention to the games, and we don't go into these games with the story in our mind that we want to tell to people. We go in, we look at the games, and then we come out and we tell people what we thought happened. You know, we don't come out trying to give you guys a story. Like, we just come in and do what we can. Okay. So it's a 5-minute mark. So let's get it started. So again, okay, we got a few people in here. People are going to come in as we're going. So before we get started, real quick, if you guys want to be a part of the live chatting that we do during these games, right? We have Dreamerspro Max, which we created for basketball conversations and chat live during games. If you guys want to be a part of that, people are signing up left and right. Marco's going to link that in the description below. He's going to put, not in the description, he's going to put it in the comment section, the link to Dreamerspro Max. You get 7 days of access, free of charge. You guys can live chat on there. Another thing worth saying is this. If you're interested in signing up to Dreamerspro Max and a game is starting at 8 o'clock your time, don't sign up to Dreamerspro Max at 8 o'clock and you may have some technical issues signing up. Some people sign up and they're ready, good to go. Some people sign up at the last minute and they can't figure out how to get in there. So if you're going to sign up for a game, sign up like 1 or 2 hours before so we can give you some support if you're having some issues. Some people it's a seamless process. Some people it's not. So just to throw that out there so you guys know that. Anyway, okay. So let's get into this. We're good to go. Okay, let's do it. So what a series this has been. And what a game it was last night. This series has been a comedy of errors. In the last, let's say, 6 days, I've heard people basically say the Clippers are not that good of a team. They're frauds. They're not mentally tough. You know, these type of monikers that people throw. These monikers that people throw. Oh, they're not mentally tough. You know, Kawhi Leonard is not a championship player. He can't lead a team to a championship. Kawhi Leonard he's not the best player on the floor. Kawhi Leonard is not that good. The Clippers look bad. They are who we thought they were going to be. All of these different things by so-called analysts. And I'm talking about people that have been in this arena for at least 10 years covering sports, or at least 5 years. People that are supposed to know what they're talking about. They're supposed to know at that level, when you're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, millions of dollars a year, to go and talk about sports or basketball, you ought to know what you're talking about. You ought to be able to give a more sound analysis of things. And we heard, oh, Clippers can't play. They're not that good. So many different things were said about the Clippers. So many different things. And I sat back and I analyzed it. Now, before the series started, I feel like it's a broken record. But I'm going to say it again. For the people that have been here, when the series started and we did our preview live, before the series started, I said I had 2 major questions. The people in the comment section know, for the people that have been here. I had 2 major questions. The first question was what I said, what are the lineups? What lineups are the Clippers going to run in this series? That was the first thing I said. For the people that follow our channel, they'll tell you that I've been saying this. That was number 1. The second question I had was, how will Paul George play? How will Paul George play? That's what I said. Those are my 2 questions. And what happened? In the beginning of the series, after game 1, I quickly realized, and I came on here and said it after game 1, I said that the Clippers need to go small. I said the Clippers need to go small. If they don't go small, they're going to continue to lose games. I even said after game 1 that I don't know why Ty Lue has not made an adjustment yet. I said this. You guys know this. I even gave a recommendation for what lineup I thought they should have played. None of that happened. They went out there. They lost game 1. They lost game 2. Not because the Clippers can't play defense, because this is the story that people have been throwing out. Oh, the Clippers can't play defense. You've heard this line before. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are not who they used to be. You've heard that line before. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are only good defensive players based off of reputation. You guys heard that line 1 or 2 times over the last 5 days, right? I'm sure you heard that. Oh, they're not as good as we thought they were. Kawhi Leonard and PG is just reputation. It's just reputation. It's just reputation. Welcome in for the new people that are coming in. That's what I heard. That's what we heard. And I said to myself, I said, it has nothing to do with that. I said, the problem the Clippers have been having is that they had a terrible strategy. People laughed at me. They said, and I said, because they have a terrible strategy, this is what the coach is implementing. Oh, you're making excuses for Kawhi Leonard. It's Kawhi Leonard's fault. Now, at first you said it was Doc. Now it's Ty Lue. Y'all are always taking the blame. You're always passing on the blame. You're always This is what I heard. And I didn't go back and forth. I said, okay. But I said the Clippers had a bad strategy. No one listened. It was like I was talking to all of these big media wigs that are getting paid millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Everybody you see on TV, the majority of them are in the top 1% of earners in the world. I want you guys to just ponder on that for a second. For you to make it into the top 1% of the United States, you need to make about $400,000 plus a year. At least $400,000 for you to be considered in that top bracket. All of these guys you see on TV are all in the 1%. These guys are the highest paid people in the world. And you would think that with that level of compensation, all you have to do is just go out there and try to analyze things a little bit better. That's all you have to do. None of these guys picked up on this, with the exception of one person, and I'm going to get to him later. So I said that if the Clippers were to go small in this series, they would change the complexion of this series. It's exactly what I said. In Game 3, what happened? The Clippers, after dropping the first 2 games, they came out there, and what did they do? They again started Ivica Zubac. And what happened in that first quarter? At one point, I think the Clippers were down 30-11. And some people will say, oh, the reason that they're down 30-11 is because the Clippers are a bad defensive team. Newsflash, guys. The Clippers were the 6th ranked defensive team in the NBA all season. What was happening was Luka was searching for Zubac on those high screen rolls. Whatever man that was guarding Zubac would come and set a pick, Luka would get the switch and he would score on Zubac almost every single time. Which in turn would get the crowd in the game, which would cause the momentum to go into the favor for the Dallas Mavericks. Then, because they were putting Zubac in jeopardy of guarding Luka, what happens? You now have to double. And because you have to double, your defense is always on the swivel. And that's the reason why Tim Hardaway Jr. and all of these guys were getting these wide open looks, because their spacing, the Clippers' spacing on the defensive end was in a mess just because of having Zubac on the floor. And I said they have to bench Zubac. I said this. I even said it on Dreamerspro Max when we were chatting. Liars have no proof, man. I said it. People are here on this live or on Dreamerspro Max. They'll tell you. And what happened in that game? Ty Lue had no choice but to sit Zubac in the second. I think no. It was 3 minutes into the first quarter or 4 minutes into the first quarter. He had to bench Zoo. And what happened? Clippers ended up closing that game, that first quarter. I think it was like 30-34, 31-34. And people talk about, oh, the Clippers started playing better defense. No, it wasn't that they were playing better defense. They only made one change. They took Zubac off the floor and brought in a forward. Now they have defensive play because, as I said, the Mavs are a team of shooting guards and small forwards. And you need to have defenders that are quick enough to keep up with them. They can move their feet quick enough. And you saw that the Mavs were not getting those same open looks. So what happened? The Clippers go down battle back and forth with them, have to overcome the momentum that they created in the first quarter. I'm talking about the Mavs. Ultimately came back and won that game. When we did a reaction to that game, I think we did that on Saturday because they played on Friday. What did I say? I said, I think you guys were here, some of you. I said that if the Clippers start game 4 small, I said the Clippers would win. That's exactly what I said. The video's online. We have it on our channel. You can go back and look at it. That's exactly what I said. I said the Clippers would win, and some people said, oh, it's just one game. It's just one game. But the problem is I had been paying attention to this series. I had been analyzing this series. Some people were saying Rondo was the difference. Rondo was not the difference. He was not the difference. It was the mismatch on the floor. The Clippers had the wrong personnel. Then game 4 started, and I saw that the Clippers went small. For those of you guys that have been here, did I not give a recommendation? I think it was after game 1 or 2, when I said the Clippers starting lineup I think some of you guys are here. Did I not say they should either start Terrence Mann or Rondo? Then I said they should keep PG at the 2, Kawhi at the 3. Didn't I say they should bring in Nicholas Batum and put him at the 4 and put a Marcus Morris? I said that, right? When the game started yesterday, what was the lineup you saw on the floor? They kept Reggie Jackson, and the reason they kept him in was for spacing. They kept Reggie. They played Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris Sr., and Nicholas Batum. Exactly what I said. And y'all noticed that the Mavs that were shooting like 3,000% from the field, they could barely get any clean looks. And the question is, people will say, it's because they're playing better defense. No, it's not. The thing is because the personnel is better suited to guard these players. You're not going to bring out a lineup of Rudy Gobert's. If you like, the Clippers can start with 4 Rudy Gobert's on the court against the Mavs, and they will still lose because it's the wrong personnel. Ty Lue figured that out, and the minute they came in, I think some people even here in the live chat right now with us here, some people will tell you, I said it in the first quarter, and Mark, he's also one of our, I said it. Even I think Deuce to Don would tell you. I said in the first quarter, I said this game, the Clippers are going to win, and it's not going to be close. If I'm lying, I can go and get the screenshot for you. I think I have it in here somewhere. I think I have it. I don't know if Marco took it down. I don't know if Marco took it down, but I said it in the beginning of the game. I said it. And Mark was like, no. It's too soon. 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 I said, no. The Clippers are going to win this game because they've already figured out the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavs had nothing else to do. I said this is going to be a short game and it's going to be over with. And people say, oh, no. I said it was over. The Mavs had no answer for the Clippers. So what did the Mavs try to do? What did the Mavs try to do in that game? Where is it? I think I said it right here. 1 second. I think I said it right here. I said, okay, everybody, let's have a good game. And I said the Clippers finally go small. Some people say I love it. I said the Mavs will be in trouble. This is 10 minutes after the game started. I said the Mavs will be in trouble. They're not scoring as easily as they did in game 1 and 2. The switching is not working, is what I said. Then I said, look at them. And then I went a little bit further. I said, no more Zoo or Patrick Beverley for them to take advantage of. And I said, Luka doesn't look as sexy as he used to when it was Zoo. Now he's seeing all forwards. And Mark gave me the thumbs up. Then I said, they are flustered. I said that 15 minutes into the game. I said, this game won't be close. I said, book it. And it was over with. Not because the Clippers were playing more defense. It's because they had the right personnel on the floor. I said it after that live on game 3. I said if the Clippers win game 4, what did I say? If the Clippers win game 4, they are going to beat the Mavs 4 games in a row, is what I said. Before Charles Barkley said it, because every day he's giving a guarantee. Y'all know my man Charles Barkley. I guarantee. He gives out so many guarantees, right? They even made it a part of the show. I said it. The Mavs are in trouble right now. They are in trouble. So let me get back to my notes here. They start small. They're destroying the Mavs. So what does Rick Carlisle do? Rick Carlisle realizes that the Clippers figured out what the Mavs have been doing. So what did he do in that first quarter? Or is it in the second quarter? What did he do for the people that were paying attention to the game? What did he do? He brought in Boban. Exactly. He brought in Boban. I'm surprised that these analysts who are getting paid $500,000, $1 million, $2 million a year can't bring this up. I'm surprised. Are people just on TV stealing money? Are they on TV stealing money? They brought in Boban. Why did they bring in Boban? Because they wanted to force Ty Lue's hand to bring Zubac back on the floor, so Luka could take advantage of that mismatch. That was the whole purpose of bringing in Boban, so they can bring in Zubac, because Luka was having difficulty scoring on Kawhi, T-Man, Nicholas. Nicholas Batum had like 5 blocks in that game. Let me see how many blocks Nicholas Batum had. Nicholas Batum in that game, just a moment, guys. Let me tell you how many blocks. Nicholas Batum, okay, he finished the game with 4 steals and 2 blocks. They couldn't score. He couldn't score on them anymore. And he was already out of a rhythm after the first quarter. He was already out of a rhythm. So that's what happened. Then I turned on some sports shows today, and I saw a segment with Nick Wright talking about the Clippers versus Mavs. Unbeknownst to me, thank you for all the new people in here. I see we have 500 people in here. Thank you for all the new people that are joining us. Again, if you guys want to be a part of these live chats that we do during the game, we have Dreamerspro Max as an online sports community place where you can start basketball discussion, chat live during games, so many of the cool things. If you guys are interested in that, Marco's going to link that in the comment section. You can get 7 days of access to sign up so we can chat live during these games. So you guys can do that for the people that are the new people that are coming in. So I was listening to what's his name? Nick Wright. And I've told myself I'm not going to listen too much of these guys, because I'm truly beginning to understand that these guys don't know what they don't know what they're talking about. I'm truly beginning to understand that. I'm truly beginning to understand that what they do is they pick the obvious picks. Like if there are 4 teams that could win, they're going to pick one of those 4 teams, and then somebody's going to end up being right in the end. And then everybody looks like a genius. Well, I told you. Well, how many teams could actually win? You picked one of the 3 or 4 teams that could win. So what a revelation. Wow. So then I was listening to Nick Wright. Nick Wright was giving his analysis. The guy that a lot of you guys are impressed with because he can speak good English and he wears a suit. A lot of you guys are impressed with him. I don't understand why. Anyway, Nick Wright watches that game. Happy birthday. Nick Wright watches that game. And Nick Wright says at the end, I had not known that Nick Wright had said that the Clippers were going to lose the series after being down 0-2. I didn't even know that until they said it on the show, because I'm not paying attention to this guy. I'm not paying attention to him. He said the Clippers are going to lose. Then, after the Clippers beat the Mavs, what was the box score? They beat them 106-81. They beat them by what? 25 points. They beat the Mavs by 25 points. And Nick Wright, at the end of all of that, he says, the Clippers are still in trouble. Y'all know how Shannon Sharp be dropping the pen? Oh, my goodness. You know how Shannon Sharp be doing? Oh, my goodness. He said that the Clippers are in trouble. Let me ask you guys a question. Does this sound like somebody that knows what they're talking about? Truly. Does this give you the impression that this sounds like somebody that knows what they're talking about? He said, okay, the Clippers are in trouble. The next question somebody on the panel should have asked him is excuse me, I know I didn't go to Harvard. I know I didn't go to Spelman. I know I didn't go to University of Pennsylvania. I know I didn't go to Columbia. I know I didn't go to UCLA. I know I didn't go to any of these schools. I know I didn't go there. I know I didn't go to Princeton. But you just said the Clippers are in trouble. I'd have asked them, sir, why do you say that? That's what I would ask them. What makes you say that? What's your reason for this? That's Nick Wright. Nick Wright is the only one that I heard come to that conclusion, that the Clippers are in trouble. So just imagine if these are the people that are out there speaking about sports, imagine how convoluted the understanding of sports fans are nowadays, when this is the people that they get the information from. There's no way you can watch that game and at the end of it, you say that the Clippers are in trouble. What? It's like, what? How do you reach that conclusion? That was Nick Wright. I got a lot more. Let me move on. So here's the reason. Here's the reason why I think this series is going to be over. Here's the reason why I think this series is going to be over. And I think the Clippers are going to win the next 2 games. Oh, by the way, we're going to talk about the Lakers and the Suns later on. So if you guys want to stick around for that, we're going to talk about that later on. I want to finish my ideas here first. So let me get to the point that I want to make here. I think a lot of us have the wrong. I think a lot of us are. I think we were too quick to crown the Dallas Mavericks as a very good team. Guys, I think a lot of us thought that I think a lot of us made a mistake to think that this series would be close. Had Ty Lue started this series and started off small, I think the Clippers would be up 2-1 right now. Excuse me, 3-1. I think the Clippers would be up 3-1 right now had he started the series small. Here's something I want you guys to ponder on. The Clippers and the Mavs played each other this season 3 times. They played 3 times against each other this season. 3 times. Okay? 3 times. The Mavs won 2 out of those 3 meetings. 2 out of those 3 meetings. Do you know something interesting? I have to go look back at those games. Do you know that Ivica Zubac played in all 3 games and played at least 30 minutes in each of those games? My suspicion is this. Had the Clippers played the Mavs with the same lineup that they're playing them now, they'd have beat them 3-0. That's my first suspicion. The second thing is this. People are talking about the Mavs are having problems with the Clippers. They can't. Do y'all realize that the Dallas Mavericks were the number 20? They were the 21st ranked defense all season long. Were you guys aware of that? So help me understand. They're the 21st ranked defense in the NBA. You have a 72 game sample. What exactly do you expect to happen when they get to the playoffs? What do you expect to happen? They're just not a good team, a defensive team. Plain and simple. I think the reason the Mavs beat the Clippers in the regular season was because they played Zubac. Because since they stopped playing Zubac, the Mavs have shown they have no way of beating the Clippers. And they have no real adjustments left to make. The moment Ty Lue made that adjustment, the Mavs have been in complete disarray. The moment he went small, we've quickly discovered that the Mavs are a terrible defensive team and they're having difficulty scoring on the Clippers. They scored 81 points yesterday. And the reality is this. The Clippers can stop the Mavs, but the Mavs cannot stop the Clippers. This is the fact of the matter. The Clippers can stop the Mavs, but the Mavs cannot stop the Clippers. Some of you guys say, how is this possible? Which brings me to my man, Kawhi Leonard. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for that. Let me get to my man, Kawhi Leonard. Let me get to my... Oh, and by the way, we have another video coming out today after this live. Be on the lookout on the channel. Sure you guys are going to love that. Let me talk about my man, Kawhi Leonard. You know that bum, the top 10 player? Where are the people that... There were some people in the comment section a few days ago. They were saying Kawhi Leonard's the top 10 player. Where are these people? I'm not seeing them anymore. Where are they? You know, Kawhi Leonard, the dude Bucher said can never lead a team to a championship. You know, Kawhi Leonard, the dude that nobody mentions when they're talking about let me tell you something right now. Kawhi Leonard, as we speak, ladies and gentlemen, he is the best player in the playoffs, period. He is the best player playing basketball right now in the world. There's nowhere else you're going to go in the world and find somebody playing better basketball than Kawhi Leonard. There's no one playing better basketball than Kawhi Leonard. No one. Not LeBron, not Kevin Durant, not Anthony Davis, not Nikola Jokic, not Luka Doncic, not James Harden, not Jason Tatum. He's better than all of these dudes. All of them. He's better than all of them. He's just better than them, period, end of story. Because in the games that matter, Kawhi Leonard is like a supernova. He's on a completely different plane right now. Let me give you guys Kawhi Leonard's numbers. As they say, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't, right? Let me give you guys the numbers. Let me give you guys Kawhi Leonard's numbers yesterday. It was as Floyd Mayweather says, light work. This was just light work from my man Kawhi Leonard. This is just light work. Let me give you guys his numbers yesterday. Kawhi Leonard scored 29 points. Okay. He shot 73.3% from the field. Who in the NBA did that? This playoffs. Show me the player that took at least 15 shots and made 73% of them. Who's the player? Who's the person? He made 66.7% of his threes, shot 83% from the free throw line, got you 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. What are we talking about here? That was just yesterday. Let's talk about Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard, these playoffs, is averaging 33 points per game. He's shooting 18.18 times per game, less than per game, less than 19 times per game. He's shooting percentage. He's shooting 62.7% from the floor. He's shooting 47.6% from the field, 87.5% from the free throw line, 8.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 2.3 steals, and 1 block per game. Who in the NBA is putting up numbers like this? Who's the person? Text him in the comment. Who's the dude? Who's the dude? Who is the dude? There's nobody better than Kawhi Leonard. And I was watching the game yesterday, and I'm saying to myself, why are we talking about Luka Doncic's neck? Why aren't we focusing on Kawhi? Why are we talking about the guy that's losing instead of the guy that's winning? Why are we spending our time talking about the team that's losing when we can focus on the team that's winning? Like, where did they do that at? It's like two people get into a fight and you're sitting there talking about the guy that lost. Why are we talking about him? He lost. KD balling, but KD's not playing like Kawhi. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. He's not. I love KD. I think Kevin Durant is unguardable, but he is not playing with this level of efficiency. I'm sorry, he's not. KD is shooting 55% from the field. Kawhi Leonard is 10 percentage points higher than him, and he's taking more shots. Kawhi is shooting better from him from the three. KD is shooting better from him from the free throw line. Kawhi is averaging more rebounds, more assists, more steals, and 1 less block. Stop that. Stop that. This is just another way to take away from the guy. Clippers in 6. Yes, thanks for that. He's on a stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Like, cut it out. He's better. Cut it out. Cut it out. Let's not do that. Like, we're talking about the numbers here. We're not talking about our opinion. So the Mavs can't stop him. They have no answer for him. Which brings me to Paul George. Let's talk about Paul George. You know, it's funny. I haven't heard any Paul George pandemic P's in a while. KD is going against the single coverage Kawhi is getting blitzed and double team. Exactly. Exactly. Like, please, I'm not even wasting my energy talking about that. Come on, we got to cut that out. Let's talk about Paul George. For the people that were calling Paul George Pandemic P and blah, 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 blah. Where y'all at now? Paul George has been balling these playoffs. Let me give you guys Paul George's numbers in the playoffs. He's averaging 25 points a game. He's shooting 50% from the field. So he's efficient as hell. He's shooting 30% from the three, which I believe is going to go up as the playoffs continue. He's shooting 95% from the free throw line. He's getting you 8.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and almost a steal per game. That's Paul George. We're done with this playoff. We're done with this pandemic P. Paul George has been balling. We're going to put that to rest. Paul George says something yesterday that made me think. He said, the way Kawhi and I are playing right now, this is the way we always envisioned him to be. Oh, and by the way, let me just say this quickly about this Paul George thing, because I take this seriously. And you know, on Dreamers Pro, we tell it like it is. We tell it like it is. If you support, I just wanted to say this quickly. If you support and you're trumpeting, running up and down, beating your band set every day, if you support Kwame Brown and what he's doing, but you make fun of Paul George and call him Pandemic P, you're a flat-out hypocrite. Let me say it again. If you support Kwame Brown and you're talking about uplifting and all of this stuff, but you're making fun of Paul George, you're a flagrant hypocrite. And we don't need you on this channel. You can leave. You can unsubscribe. I'm sorry, we don't need that. We don't need selective outrage. If you're going to make fun of Paul George, but you're going to sit up there and run after other people for Kwame Brown, yet you're making fun of Paul George, get off our channel and leave forever. We don't need your views. We don't need your comments. We don't need your energy. If it's a black person doing that, and you're the one saying that about him, you're a flagrant hypocrite. You can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose. Pick one. It's either you're for it or you're not. Don't be half-stepping. I don't want to hear no more Paul George Pandemic P. You're talking about labeling. If we're going to be talking about, okay, Kwame Brown is a successful man in his life, nobody should label him. Paul George is 10 times more successful than him. What are we talking about here? If we're going to talk about, well, let's go off the court, he's 10 times more successful than him. This guy's had multiple Supermax contracts, multi-generational wealth, and yet people are making fun of him. But we want to pick and choose. Huh? This is what Kwame Brown, and you got some people text, oh, pandemic people, and then you say you're black. So please, spare me with your hypocrisy. This is not the channel. If you're like that, the people that have this selective outrage, I want to pick and choose the black men that they want to support, get off our channel forever. We don't need your views. We don't need your money. We don't need nothing from you. We don't suffer hypocrites on this channel. I'm just saying it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Please, I just wanted to say that. Anyway, let me move back into this thing. So as I was saying, Paul George has been unguardable. The whole pandemic P thing is over with. There is no more comeback. Yesterday, the Mavs tried to bring in Boban. They tried to bring him in. They couldn't do anything with him. They couldn't force the Clippers' hands. They couldn't force their hands. So now moving forward, the question is this. What are the Mavs going to do? What are the Mavs going to do? I don't see any more adjustments that they can make. I don't see it. Because the Mavs have to find a way to kind of counteract this Clippers small ball lineup. If they can't, this series is going to be over. Because let me tell you, all of the momentum that the Dallas Mavericks had is gone. It's gone. The momentum is gone. And I heard Skip Bayless say something interesting. Today. He said that he believes one of the reasons that the Clippers beat the Mavs 2 games in a row is because the Clippers got tired of the Mavs showboating and front running. They got tired of Luka Doncic running up and down the court, cussing out this person, cussing out that. That's what he said, right? So my question is, when the Clippers lost the first 2 games, they weren't upset? They weren't upset? They were happy. Oh, they were just cool with it. And all of a sudden, they woke up after game 3, and then they got upset. And then they said enough is enough. No, the Clippers were trying to win since game 1. It's just that they made a switch to their strategy. I don't think it has anything to do with the Clippers got mad and this and that, and the Clippers got. I don't think it had nothing to do with that. I think they changed up their strategy, and now you're seeing the results. Luka Doncic ain't kicking and laughing it up anymore. Welcome in from Canada. He's not laughing it up anymore because it's not funny anymore. It's always good to front run. You always look good in the beginning, but then when you're losing, then we're going to see. So I think the Mavs are in trouble. And I don't see how they're going to come back. And I think the Clippers moving forward, now that they figured out the small ball is working, they should continue playing. It should be Reggie Jackson, if that's what they're going to go with for spacing, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris Sr., and Nicholas Batum. And if I'm the coaching staff of the Clippers, I'm saying, welcome in. I'm saying, you got to show me that you can beat this lineup. You got to show me you can beat this lineup. And that's the reason why I was astonished when Nick Wright said that the Clippers are in trouble. How is it that the Clippers are in trouble? How is it that they're in trouble? They're the team that's made the adjustment. They've won the last 2 games. The Mavs could barely score 90 points, let alone 100 in the last game, yet they're in trouble? How? What am I missing? What am I missing? The deceptive part about the Mavs is that they play Kristaps Porzingis, and because he's 7'3", you think he's going to play like a traditional big with his back to the basket, but he doesn't. When Boban came in the game, he actually had more post-ups than Kristaps Porzingis. So I don't think they're going to win. I think the Clippers have understood that this team can be beaten, and I think the Clippers are going to finish them in quick order, and they're going to move on to the next round. And they're going to be in a round 2, which I think is going to be an even tougher matchup because now I think they're going to be playing against the Utah Jazz, who are a serious team. I've seen the Clippers play that team, and now this is going to be an interesting matchup because Ty Lue and the coaching staff have made a concerted effort to make sure that they always are going downhill, always attacking the basket, always attacking the paint. I don't think it's going to be as easy for them to do that with the anchor and Rudy Gobert in the paint, who's probably going to win his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think it's going to be easy, but that's going to be another challenge. And we're not there yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But as far as this series goes, I don't see the Mavericks all of a sudden going from being a 21st ranked defensive team in the regular season to all of a sudden becoming a top 10 defensive ranked team all of a sudden, the rated team. I don't see how that's going to happen in a span of what? Today's Monday, Tuesday, playing on in 2 days. How is that going to happen? So I don't know how that's going to happen. And if I'm the Clippers, I'm going to keep playing small until you make an adjustment that works. The same way the Mavs were doing. The Mavs kept on exploiting Ivica Zubac until the Clippers were forced to bring in to go sit Zubac. They've made the adjustment. Now they have to make the adjustment. Last year, they talked about Doc Rivers' unwillingness to make adjustments. Guess what? Ty Lue has made an adjustment. I think he made it one game too soon. I can give you the first, too late, excuse me. I think he could have gotten away with it with the first game, game one, no problem. But game two, he should have gone small. To his credit, it's better to be late than ever. But they brought him in. I mean, they made the adjustment. And now we got to see what the Mavs can do. Is Luka Doncic injured? I have no idea. They're talking about nerve. The neck is something very serious. It's a very serious thing. It's a very serious issue. But let me tell you something. Even if Luka Doncic is healthy, folks, the Mavs are in a world of trouble. They're in a world of trouble. And I'll tell you why again. By Ty Lue, this is the genius of what they just did. By Ty Lue deciding to go small, he's done one thing to the Dallas Mavericks defense. He has completely put them in quicksand. Do y'all know that the Clippers starting five yesterday had 5 players, or basically their entire starting five? Do you know all of them shot at least 40% from the three last season? Do y'all know that? The Clippers starting five, all of them shot at least 40% from the three. 3 of them shot over 42. Reggie Jackson shot 43% from the three. Marcus Morris Sr. was the second best three-point shooter in the NBA last season. The second. Kawhi shot 39.5. Paul George shot like 42%. Nicholas Batum shot 40. So help me understand this. A team that's already lousy on defense, you're not putting them on the floor and telling them to guard a team that has 5 players that are shooting 40% from the field, and you expect what to happen? They're not going to be able to guard them. And that's probably the reason why Ty Lue has, continues to start Reggie Jackson. It's going to be barbecue chicken all over again. But on the opposite end, the Mavs can't switch anymore, because every time you switch, you're either seeing Nicholas Batum, you're either seeing Kawhi Leonard, you're either seeing Paul George, you're either seeing Marcus Morris Sr., and Reggie Jackson can do a good enough job to not get totally overpowered. If I look at Reggie Jackson, he's a little bit taller than Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley was just too small. Period, end of story. And he gambles a lot, picks up a lot of ticky-tack fouls. I didn't hear at any point Luka Doncic yell, too small. There was nobody on the floor that was too small. So the Mavs are in scramble mode. And this is the reason why I don't see them coming back in this series. I don't see them. I don't see them coming back. Some people say you could be wrong, but I don't see what's going to happen. I don't see Reggie, what's his name? What's the guy's name? Oh God, what's his name? He plays for the Mavs. Tim Hardaway Jr., Max Kleber, all of these guys. I don't see them all of a sudden having that hot start that they did hitting those threes. They came back down to earth, but it was by design because the Clippers have better personnel. So that's my thoughts on this. Now let me get to one final thing before I get to the Lakers and the Suns. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all are most likely going to witness Kawhi Leonard in a 3-year span come back from being down 0-2. Y'all remember, I think I said it before, y'all remember Kawhi Leonard when they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks in game 1? Y'all remember people call Kawhi the Toronto Raptors are done and blah, 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 blah. Y'all remember that, right? Okay. Y'all remember when they lost the game 2? It's over. Who said it? Stephen A. Smith, Paul Pierce. Oh, it's over. Y'all remember. And Kawhi Leonard, who's one of the greatest playoff performers ever, came back and beat the Milwaukee Bucks. It was a close game 3, an overtime game. Then they came back and beat them 4 straight. And I told people, Kawhi Leonard has been down this road before. And people are like, oh, you're just a fanboy and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And he did it. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness him do it the second time. So the lesson is, stop hating on Kawhi. Give the man his props. He's the best player in the playoffs, and it's that simple. Now, let me get to the Lakers versus the Suns. Let me get to the Lakers versus the Suns, folks, because I really want to talk about this. First thing, let me start off with this point. Was it just me? I'm going to go back to Nick Wright for a moment before we talk about the Lakers versus the Suns. Was it me? I think we did a video probably a month ago. Nick Wright said, going into the play-in tournament, he said that if Anthony Davis is not healthy, or if he is not back by the playoffs, this is Nick Wright's words. We did a video on it. Do you know what Nick Wright said? He said that the Lakers do not need Anthony Davis, that LeBron is good enough to take the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals or the championship round, and they don't need Anthony Davis. That's Nick Wright. He said that about 3 weeks ago. This is when the Lakers were flirting with that play-in tournament. Nick Wright came out and said that LeBron is good enough to carry the Lakers to the finals, and they don't need Anthony Davis. That's what Nick Wright said. Let me just start off on that leg, because a lot of people, I feel bad for you, because a lot of you guys listen to him. A lot of y'all listen to him, and I feel sorry for you. That's what he said. So let's take the facts at hand. Then Nick Wright said that LeBron can carry the Lakers to the finals in the West without AD. Okay, no problem. Yesterday, the Lakers lost Anthony Davis in the second quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going to give the Lakers a pass in this sense. When you have AD on the floor, maybe you have one type of flow, then AD leaves, then the Lakers have a different flow. So maybe it was hard for LeBron to really get back into his rhythm in the game, for him to really come back and win that game. That is totally understandable. And I'm giving them a pass for that. They lost the game, so what? It's 2-2. But now the series is 2-2. They're now saying that AD may not come back and play, is it tomorrow? The Lakers are playing tomorrow. Okay. But LeBron will play. And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James is 36 years old. This is not magic. He's 36 years old. What exactly are people expecting from a player that is 30? If he was in his early 30s, late 20s, then you got me. Then you got me. You put a prime LeBron, no problem. I said they have a chance. But you expect a 36-year-old player to go out there and beat a Phoenix Suns team who Chris Paul, who was limping one game before, looked much better yesterday in the other game. And now you expect him to go out there and bring out his magic wand and go out there and win? To me, it's not magic. Yes, LeBron and the Lakers have a good team, but you can't do it on your own. You can't. The greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan, showed you can't do it on your own. You need at least one all-star, which brings me to Andre Drummond. I think it was like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago when the Lakers acquired Andre Drummond. What were they calling him? Kareem Drummond. Kareem Drummond. All of this stuff, right? They were calling him all of this stuff. Well, here he is. Here's your chance to show us what you got. They still got Andre Drummond. And you guys are going to quickly find out what the rest of the NBA understood, except the people that cover the Lakers, that Andre Drummond he's not that type of player. He's not. I think it's good sometimes to face the facts. Now, if AD does not come back in game, 5, which is on Tuesday, I'm going to give the favor. I'm going to favor the Suns to win that game. Going into this series, I picked the Lakers to beat them in 6. I think if Anthony Davis was 100% healthy, I think they're going to beat them in 6. I think somehow if Anthony Davis comes out and he plays well, I think the Lakers are going to win. Seriously, I think that, because I think overall, from top to bottom, yes, the big penguin, from top to bottom, I think the Lakers are the better team from top to bottom. And I've been saying it all season long. I think that the Clippers and the Lakers are the 2 best teams in the Western Conference. And I still think that if Anthony Davis is 100%, there's a very good chance we can see the Clippers and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, and we can see what's what. That's what I think. That's what I think. But Andre Drummond is not like, people acting like as if they got Joel Embiid or something. He's not that dude. He's not. So, are the Lakers in trouble? If AD doesn't play in game 5, they're in trouble. There's no 2 ways about it. Talent also goes a long way. Look at Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra is a fantastic coach, but if you don't have enough talent, it's going to be hard to win. Talent matters in this game, in this particular sport. It does. And if you don't have enough talent and you have a hungry Suns team, somebody made the point that Chris Paul is an older player too. Yes, but at least he has Devin Booker, and you don't have a counterbalance on the Lakers. I don't see how they get it done. I just don't see how the Lakers get it done. But the question is, can LeBron help them get at least 1 game? Can he help them get at least 1 game? And if he's the GOAT, you got to show me. Michael Jordan won his 6th NBA title at 35. 6 was the finals MVP. So you got to show me. You got to show me. And they were playing more games then. They were playing more games then in a much more physical league. You got to show me. You say you Jordan, let me see what you got. Let me see what you got. I don't think any of you would think that if Michael Jordan at 35 was playing on the Lakers, I think everybody will still feel like the Lakers are going to win that game. I think everybody will feel that way. Everybody will feel that way. I wouldn't doubt that. Even LeBron fans will tell you, I feel good about Jordan winning that game. So you got to show me. You got to show me. And that's what I think. That's what I think. So to wrap this up, I think the Clippers figured something out. I think we finally understood that the Mavs are not a good defensive team. I think the Clippers need to play small until the Mavs counteract it. Maybe the Mavs are going to start Boban in game 5. Who knows? But right now, I think all the momentum is on the Clippers side. If they come back to LA and they play on what's the day? They play on Wednesday, and they win that game, they would have beat them 3 games in a row, which would be demoralizing. And if they do that, the series is over. The series is over. About the Nets, I think the Nets beat. Let me see who the Nets played. I think the Nets. Who did they play? I think the Brooklyn Nets, they beat somebody. Did they play yesterday? I think yes, they played. Let me see. The Brooklyn Nets played against the, yes. Oh, yeah, it was incredible. Let me see. They scored 42-42. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets beat the Boston Celtics. Amazing win. Amazing win. I think their big 3 had 100 points in that game. Think about that. 100 points. I was saying early in the season that they have the only big three that can get you 75 to 100, and they went out there and got you 100? 100? It's absurd that they got you 100 points. KD scored 42 points. Kyrie Irving scored 39 points. And James Harden scored 23. That's 100 points. There's no team in the NBA that can do that. That's absurd. That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous. It's like you pretty much got an all-star team out there. That's ludicrous. However, let me just say this one thing. If the Brooklyn Nets advance, which we all think they will, and they go to round 2 to go play against the Milwaukee Bucks, guys, y'all know the Milwaukee Bucks were the number 1 rated offensive team in the NBA as far as points per game. The Bucks can also play defense. They got Drew Holiday. They got Giannis Antetokounmpo. They got Chris Middleton. They got players in there too. The Brooklyn Nets better play defense in round 2. They're not the Boston Celtics. These are the Milwaukee Bucks. They better play defense in round 2. It's not going to be a cakewalk because the deeper you go into playoffs, you're going to be playing better teams. I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be a slouch in the second round. So pretty much that's it for me, man. I think I've covered everything. I think we had close to 700 people in here. Again, thank you guys for being a part of this live. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us. And we'll definitely catch you guys tomorrow. Also be on the lookout for our video that we have coming out later on in the channel today. And one final thing I want to say. Yes, again, if you guys want to live chat during those games for the games that are coming up this week or even games tonight, make sure you guys go ahead and sign up to Dreamerspro Max. Marco's going to put that in the comment section, so you guys can check out Dreamerspro Max and you guys can sign up and get 7 days of access and chat live during these games. Once again, thank you guys for your attention. We really appreciate it. And we'll definitely catch you guys on the next episode, man. Have a good one. Peace.